What if everything we think we know is wrong? What if the legend of Dracula, the creature of the night, the blood drinker, the immortal terror of Transylvania, was never the real monster at all? Tonight, we step into the shadows. Tonight, we travel through forgotten centuries, lost manuscripts, burnt letters, and hidden testimonies to uncover the truth buried beneath fear, myth, and manipulation. This is the story they never wanted you to hear. This is the story of the man behind the monster. This is What If Dracula Wasn't the Monster? Chapter 1. The Last Night of the Living Prince. Before the world called him Dracula, he was simply a man, Vlad, a prince, a warrior, a protector of his land. And on the final night of his human life, a storm shook the mountains of Wallachia. Lightning split the sky, casting sharp flashes over the stone walls of his castle. Vlad stood in his chambers, looking not at a mirror, for he never feared his reflection, but at a letter sealed in dark wax. A warning, a prophecy, not for the world, but for him. The beast in the forest has awakened. It comes not for your land, but for your soul. That night, Vlad made a decision, one that would burn his name into eternal darkness. Chapter 2. The Creature in the Forest. The creature came with the storm. Villagers heard it first. Branches snapping, ground trembling, a distant howl that was not animal and not human. Those who saw its silhouette described something impossible, a towering, shadow-draped figure whose body flickered like smoke and bone combined. They called it the Strigoi King, the father of all cursed beings. But the truth is far darker. This creature did not come to destroy Vlad. It came to choose him, to pass on a curse older than civilization, older than written language, older than fear itself. Chapter 3. The Bargain No One Remembers. When Vladimir rode into the forest to face the creature, people expected a battle. Steel against shadow, man against monster. But what truly happened has been erased from every history book. There was no duel. There were no swords. No blood spilled on the forest floor. Instead, there was silence. A voice that wasn't spoken but felt. And a choice. If you take my power, the creature whispered, you will save your people for a time, but they will forget your sacrifice and remember only the curse you carry. Vlad accepted, not for immortality, not for hunger, but for protection. And with that choice, the first lie in the legend was born. Chapter 4. The Hunger That Wasn't Hunger. The transformation was not what stories describe. There were no fangs tearing through lips, no flames, no dark rituals. There was pain, endless, burning, fracturing pain, as if every bone was being rewritten. When he opened his eyes, he felt something new. Not hunger, but awareness. He could hear hearts beating miles away. He could sense fear before fear appeared. He could see truth behind lies. And he realized something extraordinary. He did not crave blood. He craved strength, and blood simply contained what he needed. Vlad was not turned into a monster. He was turned into a weapon. Chapter 5. The First War Against the Real Monsters. The real monsters were not vampires. They were humans corrupted by darkness, warlords who struck bargains with creatures beneath the earth, tribes who drank from the well of forgetting, kings who sacrificed their own people for power. Vlad became their enemy. He hunted them one by one. The shadows feared him, not the other way around. He did not prey on the innocent. He preyed on the corrupt. But history is written by survivors, and survivors often lie. Stories twisted him, Songs cursed him. Fathers told their children he was the thing in the dark. No one knew. He fought the very things they feared. Chapter 6. The Betrayal That Created the Legend. The greatest betrayal came from someone Vlad trusted, a monk named Aurelian, a man who pretended to be holy, a man who had secretly made a pact with the Strigoi king long before Vlad ever stepped into the forest. The monk feared Vlad's growing power, feared he might destroy the ancient curse entirely. So he rewrote the scriptures. He forged fake testimonies. He spread stories of Vlad feeding on children, sleeping in coffins, controlling bats and wolves. Every lie the world believes today was born from that single act of fear. Chapter 7. The Woman Who Knew the Truth. Her name was Elisabetta, Vlad's lover, his anchor, his last connection to the world of the living. She knew he was cursed, but she saw the man before the curse. While the world cursed him, she waited for him. Her love was the only thing that kept the monster inside him from consuming him entirely. And it was her death, caused by the lies whispered by the monk, that shattered everything. Vlad did not become Dracula because of hunger. He became Dracula because of grief. Chapter 8. The Night the Monster Was Born. On the night Elisabetta died, Vlad lost the last piece of his humanity. He returned to the monastery, confronted Aurelian, and discovered the truth about the pact. In rage deeper than darkness, he unleashed the full power of the curse. For the first time, he tasted real blood, not for strength, but for vengeance. From that night onward, the world got the Dracula it feared. Not because he was born evil, but because he had nothing left to protect. Chapter 9. The Prophecy of the Red Moon. But the story does not end with Dracula's fall. According to ancient writings discovered in the ruins of Poenari Fortress, a prophecy was left behind. When the red moon rises and the shadow breaks, the Cursed One will return, not as a monster, but as the one who ends the monsters forever. Some believe this prophecy refers to Dracula's spirit, waiting for the final awakening. Some believe the curse never died. Some believe a descendant still walks among us, a sleeper, a guardian, a weapon waiting for the right moment. Final chapter. Was Dracula ever the monster? When you peel away the myths, the lies, the fear, a different picture appears. A man who protected his people, a man who sacrificed himself, a man who was cursed not because he was evil, but because he stood against evil. So the question remains, what if Dracula wasn't the monster? What if the real monsters were the ones who created the legend and used it to hide their own sins? What if the darkness we fear was never him, but always us?